All right, what's up, guys? Magus. Today we're going to go over the basics of a market profile. Start off, we'll do the explanation that each one of these shapes we're looking at represents an entire day's rotations and flow. Each one of the blocks represents 30 minutes, and as the day goes on, you continue to print blocks as price moves. And what this tool does ultimately for us is it shows us where price spent the majority of the time for the day, and you can contextualize that into higher time frame levels as well because often price spends more than one day at the same point. So ultimately, I use this tool for context. It's not really something that I'm executing trades with. So as time is spent in these areas, right, or price is spending time in these areas where you see the majority of these buildups, right, we've created what's called value. And that's what the name of the game here, right, is that this tool allows us to see value and see when value is being accepted and when it's being rejected. So some of the basic, parts or the anatomy of the profile, so to speak. The most basic thing is going to be the value area, which on my chart happens to be this green area in the middle, and it represents 70% of the day's value. So 70% of the trading for this day is within this green area. And the blue area, which is just, the prints outside of the value area is there's a million ways to refer to it as the deviations, the, range extensions, so on and so forth. These let's see, the highs and lows of the value area are called simply the value area high and the value area low. They're really important because they almost represent the day's range in a sense for what the traders are agreeing upon for what value should be. So when you have deviations from them, there's a lot of strategies for how to trade that. The last really important thing to point out with the anatomy is going to be the point of control. On my chart, it's the orange bars. It represents the price point, or based on the ticks, right, where the majority of the value for the day is traded. So you almost always see it within the value area, right? You're always going to see it within the value area. And depending on, where it is, it's just one of the many ways we can use the context, right? So we have this kind of oddly shaped trend day over here, right? You see that the majority of the day's volume is at the value area low. So there's ways to contextualize that. The other great thing that definitely is one of my favorite things to use this tool for is to point out the anomalies. So the main anomalies are going to be singles, tails, and poor highs and poor lows. That's what we're going to go over at least for now. A poor high is going to be something like this, where it's a blunted low like that, right? This is, an anomaly that likes to be swept. A tail, the single prints, they like to be swept. I don't really trade much in the way of poor highs and poor lows. I really more or less ignore that. I definitely focus on the tails a lot. And my favorite is the voids, or otherwise known as singles. A single is going to be a block that has two-way price action on either end, but only one price direction at the point, like this or this, right? Where there's two 30-minute blocks that had, or two blocks at one price point, two price points rather, where there was only one direction of trading. This is a void, right? So we started up here and closed down here, right? You had this void. What happens the following day? Price runs right to it. These serve as great rejection points, generally speaking. One last void example, probably my favorite in recent time, is going to be the 10.5 run up to following day nuke. We had these massive voids, right? What did price do? It filled them in. It tried to fill this in and it failed to do so. And I don't think it really has filled it in technically. It's come very close, but this definitely suits my bear bias that we should definitely be sweeping 86, or at the very least filling it in. Yeah, so the core of this tool is used for gaining context and understanding where value is, if value is being accepted or rejected when price is compressing and expanding. That's going to do it for the intro 101. Thanks, guys.